What is up? It's your based reality podcast with Spready Roosevelt.
And the ugly homie.
And today we're going to talk about more McDonald's stories, our favorite menu items, Donald Trump, a little NFL update. Most of it will just be about McDonald's like always, maybe about 10 minutes at the end for all the random things that are irrelevant. But what was your favorite menu item? Or not menu item, but your favorite thing to create in the kitchen by yourself?
Like something that I would like to make for myself, or something
Yeah.
that was I just enjoyed making
Something you like
particularly.
to make, something you would make for yourself, like not a normal item. It's like when you see something go viral, it's not that anyone actually eats it, it's just what one person made once, and now more people are ordering it, but it doesn't actually exist on the menu.
That's hard because
Like when everyone would make
yeah, I was gonna
quesadillas.
say I know quesadillas was a big one that I enjoyed. I remember when we had the mighty wings and we would just toss them in the sauce back there in the back.
That's just like normal wings.
I know, but I mean it's McDonald's wings. Ooh. I would have to say I wouldn't really get too fancy with it. I would personally just like do the hot and spicy McChickens, and I'd put it on that the artisan roll that they used to have
Yeah.
with some of that buttermilk ranch from the back with the white cheddar cheese and some grilled onions and bacon.
Mm. I don't know if you were there, but when my brother worked there, he showed us how they used to make themselves donuts. They would they would take either grape or strawberry jelly, and just shove it into the middle of a regular hamburger bun, and then just completely roll it up, and then like rub sugar all over and dump it in the fryer. The GM used to hate that because anytime you mess with the fryers, you could taste what was.
What was last made in that fryer?
Yeah, like the time me and the one other dude he accidentally he had a food truck and he was going to the back with it to eat, and he dumped his Coke got into the French fry vat. And
Damn,
they had just changed the fry vat, so the fries tasted off for like 3 days.
that's great. Yeah, no,
We
I
had
didn't know.
caffeinated fries.
I mean, to each their own. Some people might actually like that.
Yeah, because the maintenance guy came and was like, I'm not changing that, dude. He's like, she gets mad and sees it, but she's like, just let him think there's something wrong with the oil.
That's wild. Doesn't
Uh,
surprise me, but it's wild.
yeah, but he's like, I ain't changing that, bro. I
No,
guess the biggest thing is like when everyone would just go up to the ice cream machine and just start. Because the ice cream machine, you could get a little more creative, like when you would take three cookies and dump ice cream and pour chocolate sauce on them.
yeah, I saw quite a few people do that.
Or like, what was it? One of GM's just grabbed like an apple pie and ice cream and started mixing it in with like some milk or shake mix. So she was like, "Look, I made an apple pie shake."
Did you remember the fried apple pies?
Oh yeah, those are delicious.
I feel like those were better than the baked ones, honestly.
The only baked one that was goated was the strawberry cream.
I'm a weirdo. I actually liked the holiday pies. I don't,
What are you talking about? Everyone liked the holiday pies. It was a sugar cookie.
I don't know. I felt like a lot of people actually didn't like them.
I think it's because it was like they were good, but it was so like it was like so sickly sweet that if you didn't have a if you weren't a big sweet tooth person, you were gonna hate it regardless.
I guess, yeah. That's a really
Whereas
good
the apple
point.
pie, like the crust, like it's not the sweetest thing you've ever eaten. It's kind of like the tartness mutes it. So, but the holiday pie was just like a sugar. It was a sugar cookie crust. It was essentially they just put a big sugar cookie in the shape of the apple pie crust around cream.
Yeah, it was like a custardy
There
filling.
wasn't really any balance to it. It was just straight sugar. The only thing that added balance is if you washed it down with like milk or water.
I guess, yeah. I don't know. I just don't feel like people dislike the holiday pie that
Really,
like
I remember the holiday pies always sold out. Maybe amongst like the crew, but the holiday pies, if we had 12 in there, they'd sell just because it was like the apple pies was like they just had it because it was like it was classic.
yeah.
The guava pies were the grossest pies.
That's more of a regional thing because I enjoyed the guava pies.
I did, because I remember our one buddy when we got guava, he's like, dude, we replaced strawberry and cream with this.
Don't get me wrong, strawberry and cream was superior to the guava and cream.
Because it was like that weird kind of like it was almost like sugary. It was a more sugary crust, but it wasn't as like overly sugary because of the tartness of the strawberry, balanced out the cream.
Well, with the guava and cream one, it was going more for like those. Have you ever had those like Spanish pastries with the guava and cheese in them?
Oh
I think
yeah,
it was supposed to be a play on that,
yeah.
but
I can't remember my one overnight manager when I started when I was just working as crew. I think he was just making a gigantic McSkillet burrito, but he called it like the Fat Boy Delight. I think it was just a McSkillet burrito with a hash brown in it that we were half asleep and we thought that there was something more special to it. And then we realized, you're just making a McSkillet and stuffing a hash brown in it. He's like, yeah. He's
that's
like, but I use steak. I'm like, you can get steak McSkillet burritos.
yeah, that's usually what I would get.
Oh, that wasn't on the menu. We just put it in there ourselves. I don't think steak was an, yeah, no, steak was an option.
It was.
I forget. I forget when we did the McSkill burrito, you actually had to cut sausage or steak in half. Okay. And then he did something else too. I think he scrambled his own, like,
Actual eggs instead
the
of the.
actual eggs. We're like, dude, it's the same as these eggs. These eggs are just a pre-scrambled version of this. But that's all I remember. I remember that in whatever that one big guy in Bagcatch's creation was, where it's like triple toasted. I forget. I don't know if it was any different than. Did he put extra salt on that?
It wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, extra salt on his fries. I know that.
What the hell? That's nasty.
That's somebody who's trying to die.
Yeah. I think his burger was normal. I just think he put like bacon and stuff on it.
It was just like he wanted specific sauces, specific buns.
Oh, and whenever we would have I don't want to say it for the algorithm, the McFun time with
Oh yeah.
the
The,
McEiffel Tower with the McChicken and the hamburger patty.
yeah,
It was
I think
actually,
everyone knows what you're talking about. I don't think
yeah, it was a good. It was actually, it was a good combo. I remember people would come through the thing. It's like, none of these things exist. Like, it's your secret menu. I'm like, no, it's just a menu you found online. Someone told you it online and they ordered it once, and you assumed that was on the menu.
I mean, it wasn't a bad combination. I just felt like it was an overhyped order. Like,
I never got why because we could do, I guess because of the logistics of having to add another meat, why we never did a breakfast brunch burger, but then someone told me that.
yeah,
They're like, we'd have to have a bigger grill, and these people can just be normal and put steak on it. I was like, yeah, but a hamburger egg is different than steak, egg, and cheese.
yeah.
Because I had a turkey burger with eggs and wheat bread this morning. 335 calories, people. Add salsa and spicy brown mustard, the goated mustard. Normal yellow mustard is good for a pretzel when you're at a ballpark.
Or like a hot dog.
If you prefer normal yellow mustard on a sandwich at home, like, odds are you've been in like prison at some point. Or they just fed you a bologna sandwich with it, and you might have been
The only
lucky
saving grace was mustard.
if they had a pack for you that day. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, there were so many different combinations of things you could try at McDonald's to like make yourself. Because I know I was trying to find a way to make like a pizza, but the only really tomato base we had was ketchup, and ketchup is too sweet.
Yeah. No, we have for like a month you could have done it because we had a mozzarella sticks.
That's true.
And no one, it was weird because with all the things that people would make, no one tried to make a pizza. Actually, when we made quesadillas, our one manager came in and got heated at us for some reason. You're not supposed to be using the grill to do. I'm like, I was like, Samuel, there's nobody here.
Yeah,
That's not their name. That's just a name used to
protect their identity.
protect our identity. So in case you think it's a real person, it's an assumed name. To just be like, you're not supposed to use that. I'm like, it's like 9 o'clock. We're dead. Why can't you just let them have fun?
Yeah, there were a couple nights where I did that. There was a couple lunch shifts where I did that, where I'd make a quesadilla.
Yeah,
I don't know, quesadillas were good because back then that's when we had like the grilled chicken, the fried chicken, and
yeah.
now whatever there's new like chicken sandwiches, but like the fried chicken back then I think was better.
Well, no, because then like 2 days later, then walked up and started throwing
Asking it.
apple pies and stuff. I'm like, what happened to not making your own creations? She's like,
If you can't beat him, join him.
she just like stared at me. I'm like, well, this is the same concept. It's just you're not wasting space on a grill. You're just, wasting space on something that's not is in heavy use at this hour.
So I thought, like I said, I thought about making a pizza, but this was before the marinara sauce came in, and then after it came
Yeah.
in, I just never really thought about doing it
Remember when
again.
you started and when it was like 2012 and we only had the half off
The
meals?
half off crew meals, yeah.
Remember when we didn't even get actually told that the meals were free? It just came as a system update?
Yeah.
Because they decided anything that their podcast on, which even 10 years ago, their podcast wasn't hard. I don't know how they do it now because double cheeseburgers are $3.
They
I,
probably went back to half off food or
well, no, they might have upped it because you can just list it as a waste as just waste if you wanted
yeah.
to. Because I remember on the original on overnights, the original guy was like a stickler for it, but then eventually one of the other managers in the morning is like he he was when he was being cool, he's like, just order what he's like, you guys can get free. He's like, just tell me what it is and I'll write it as waste and I'll tell him you paid for it. Because he was like a tryhard making like no, it was the ultimate form of the was it Stanford experiment?
Stanford prison
Prison.
experience.
Yeah, it's like you're just because they put you in charge, even though you make nothing, you're getting off on the fact that I can control these two and what they eat.
I have a very minimal position with very minimal requirements, but
Yeah,
that part of that requirements is I get to boss you around.
it
So
wasn't stealing. The manager above him told us go for it, and we just told him to waste. He actually found out about it and got mad. And then the dude's like, "Why are you mad?" He's like, "I'll let you take it too." He's like, "Yeah, but I want to pay." And I was like, "Why?" He's like, "Dude," he's like, "I'll just put it as waste." He's like, "The GM doesn't care." He's like, "I'm cool with it." He's like, "I do it all the time."
because I remember like situations like that too when I would do what was it transition in the morning from breakfast to lunch. Um, Whenever you'd have like a little bit of leftover breakfast food, people would be like, "Oh, can I make this? Can I make that?" I was like, "Yeah, just let me count my waste first
Yeah.
and see what's getting wasted. I'll keep it in the waste, and then whatever you want to make with what back off for it's already counted."
The worst was when we said the half off meals, and if they took it from there, they'd be like, "Well, you're gonna have to pay for it." Then I'm like, "Why are we making them do this? I'm going to throw this away."
Yeah,
I was like, "We didn't make this on purpose. It was we were busy, and you told us to drop it because there were mornings where we legit had like a muffin."
yeah. There were some mornings where if you were like really pushing it, you could wind up with maybe just like a Canadian bacon leftover.
Yeah, it's like we didn't make this just to have extra. We only because we know you complain about it. We made it because if we didn't have as much as we did in the cabinet, you would have complained that people were holding.
Yeah,
I was like, it's not like the one kid where we didn't just drop you 7 pieces of steak and then keep 6, where it looks like we just did it for ourselves.
yeah.
I don't think there's the only thing that got saved for like a day might have been McGriddles. No, everything got thrown out, right?
Everything got thrown out. Everything has a shelf life of at most, I want to say 20 minutes if it was food that was prepared.
Well, no, but then they would extend breakfast to no, but then they started extending it to the until we got rid of it because they really didn't want waste.
Well, yeah, that's because they weren't getting their bonuses for hitting their waste goal.
Yeah. Remember, we're now completely off topic because I think we kind of exhausted the menu items. But remember, like how they would just like one of them would ration the grill cleaner.
Mm-hmm. They had like little drawers in the back for which ones you were gonna use for that day of the week, and
And
they were in like little like side cups and
well,
stuff
they
like
came
that.
in cups. I think the one guy was mad they didn't come in like a bottle where he could portion it out himself and only give you half.
No, no, no. It came in like a plastic
I know,
packet.
but it didn't come in anything where he could portion it less.
Yeah,
It came pre-portioned, which was weird because then when he was still the manager and he was getting his bonus, and then when the new GM took over, you could just tell he was irritated, but he couldn't do anything about it. When he just saw her She just put like 3 to 4 of those things in a grill clean in a
Spray
spray
bottle.
bottle and sprayed the grill, and she's like, "That's how you get it really clean." He's like, "I think this is why she got let go for one place because she was just
Wasting
obscene with."
product.
She just like wasted product at her discretion. She actually did something nasty. I won't say her name, but she once. Well, you weren't there, but there was like we wasted a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit because it fell on the floor.
Hmm.
Then we put it in the waste bucket. She's like, "No, this is still good." It hit the top of the wrapper, and she served it to a customer.
That's that's ridiculous. That's disgusting. Because I remember a buddy of mine that worked there was making a sandwich. I want to say it was a cheeseburger. I wasn't there that day, but I heard about it. And when he was sliding it up to the heated landing zone, the smooth the path. I can't talk today. The path that you're supposed to like slide the sandwich on is supposed to be like a smooth surface, so it just stays warm the whole way through up to that landing zone.
Yeah,
But the one we had was never like lined up right, so there's a lump somewhere on
yeah.
that path of sliding it up. So he slid up the cheeseburger and it hit that bump and it fell over. I think as he looked around, picked it up and slid it back up there. But a customer saw him and he was fired the next day.
Did it fall on the ground?
Yeah, but in the wrapper. Like the
Oh,
wrapper popped open, but the wrapper landed on the ground and the sandwich was still in the wrapper.
oh yeah.
Which I'm not saying was okay, but I'm just saying like as a general manager to like think that that's okay,
Because
it's a bit obscene.
it was weird. Because when she got hired, everyone had the one person there who used to be a GM and was not just there till she retired. But she has the attitude as if like he's like, I don't get it because she obviously got let go from her other places. You don't laterally move as a GM to another place unless like something happened at the other place.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not like she's making much more money, and then he found out she was let go. And then it was a whole weird thing about how she met the regional manager for our store because it was a different owner.
Yeah, because our store was a franchise store, right? So we weren't corporate, so
No, there's only like a few corporate McDonald's. Almost all of them are franchises.
which is crazy to think. But I mean, I guess when you look back at like the history of McDonald's, when Ray Kroc took over, he was technically a franchisee himself, and this and that.
But wasn't that whole weird where he actually? Where I saw the movie. I don't know how if it's all true or bits of the movie. I don't know how true it is to like life. But it's like, what did he almost like force them to franchise it? Where it was like they didn't actually really want to do the franchise thing because he was actually using it in Illinois.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was something along the lines of like they had signed an agreement to work together, but he wound up becoming a majority stakeholder
Well,
or
because he
whatever.
bought it from them.
Yeah,
But no, but originally I think they didn't even like that he was using the McDonald's name in Illinois because it started in California,
yeah,
and they just bought they. At the time, $1 million was a lot, but they gave him like a go away price and he paid it.
mm-hmm.
Like they gave him like an offer. It was like, well, if he gives it to us, we'll take it. But it's not like he's going to give us a million. It was $1 million a piece
Yeah,
in like the 50s or 60s, which was insane for that time.
yeah. It was due to inflation. That's probably a ridiculous amount of money
Yeah, it's
now.
like if you ever go really back in time, you see things in the 20s where Babe Ruth signed $100,000 contract, which had him making more than the president.
Yeah. Now look at us. Shohei Ohtani signed for what, $700 million?
In the whatever weird way the Dodgers did it, where it's $2 million a year for
Oh,
like
the deferments are ridiculous on that.
that. I'm like whatever, like whatever the Lightning do, the Tampa Bay Lightning do to offset their cap. This team said whatever, even though I don't think baseball has a cap, so nobody knows why they did it. I guess it saves them money in the moment.
Yeah.
It saves them actual cash in the moment, but it's not like it's a competitive advantage because there's no cap. So it's not like they're bucking like a salary cap hit.
I got,
But anyways, what other stores you have from McDonald's?
I mean, I wasn't really involved. I would have to like sit here and think about it.
Remember when I first met you, you put the wrong soap in?
Oh my God, I'll never live that one down.
Everything's color coordinated and shape coordinated. I went to where the soap was, and you're like, the one I saw didn't really fit, so I thought there was something wrong, so I actually cut the edges off, and I'm like, but they're all coordinated and shape coordinated. And then We had to have the maintenance. It was like five, and the maintenance guy had to come in and like unscrew the airplane balance so he could actually dig it out. And he's like, I don't even really know what he's like. Lucky for him that he's like this thing's shaped like a square, and the other thing I think was like a pentagon. He's like, so I can just put this in the other thing. It's just missing like he's like maybe 20% of the original soap for the other of the sanitizer for whatever it was for.
I think it was the mop buckets.
Yeah, yeah. You had the wrong one in the wrong one. He's like lucky he cut this into a square and that's a pentagon, so this will fit. It's just it'll have less in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember. I remember telling you when I threw like me and my buddy were messing around. I threw a barbecue sauce pack at the Adam and it missed him and it hit one of the monitors and it like
Is that why that one monitor was busted for so long?
it was it was busted. But we told the GM that we actually sat there and tried to explain it because I was like I can't tell her I was throwing a barbecue sauce pack at you and she never actually went back to look at the cameras. And I told her, and then he saw me with the mop thing. He's like, yeah, just tell her you flicked the mop thing too hard back and you weren't paying attention and you hit it. I don't think she noticed it for a while. I actually don't think I don't ever think I even gave her that excuse until like months later. Because the monitor I originally busted was it was actually up front, but when he came in the morning, he saw it, he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna take this monitor, I'm gonna put it on the side of the grill that they open when they're busy. So he's like, I'm gonna put that monitor right there on the other side. He's like, that way they won't notice it. He's like, they won't notice this for a few days, which they didn't because he's like, yeah, they didn't even turn it on. They didn't turn on for some reason didn't turn that side on for like 2 days because we weren't that busy. And like a few days later, she asked, and I think the guy even said, oh, accidentally. I think he told her, he's like, yeah, one of them said they accidentally hit it with the end of the mop stick when they were doing, it, they flicked it back too hard. That's because he's like, if I leave this out here, she's gonna like call you and look at cameras, and then your story isn't gonna fly.
Yeah.
He's like, but if I put it here, if I put it to where it's gonna annoy her, it's gonna make her want to find out. But if I put it on the other side where she's not there and it doesn't inconvenience her, she won't care.
Yeah.
Make
it a slight inconvenience instead of a
as long as he's like, as long as it inconveniences someone else and not her directly, you're fine. He's like, and I can just BS and then she'll get over it, and she did. Yeah, it didn't work for the longest time.
No, I remember that because I remember one time I wanted to go open that side and I was like, why doesn't this work? And they're like, it's a long story. And I was like, okay.
It wasn't that long. It was the bull BS that they believed that I told them.
Yeah.
He just hit it with a long story. He just hit it with a mop stick. Oh, were you there when? You remember how there was there was that like the little attic part,
Yeah.
and if you pop the tiles, you could get up there. One time they had me go up there to check something in the AC.
Did you fall through the roof?
No, I almost did because I forgot where it was. I think I got lucky when I fell through. I landed to where like the wash machine was or something. Like I didn't fully. I still had support inside there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, how do you get up here? Because there's stuff in here, but it's like it's like the plastic there is just there to hold the tiles in place. It's not there to support you. And I think someone's like, you're actually supposed to walk through it was a weird setup where it's the attic. He's like, well, we didn't have a ladder that went up to it. You had to put your own ladder there or climb up the stock shelves.
Yeah, that's what I used to do.
And then go into the attic. He's like, you're supposed to go in the attic because then that way you can see where the actual wood is that you can walk on.
Yeah.
He's like, she's having you walk on the plastic
guide rail thing.
They're not even guide rails. They're just little plastic like beams that they're only strong enough to hold drywall in place. He's like, I don't know what her issue was. I forgot why it was even up there. I think something went out. And she wanted me to check to see if I can turn on like the air conditioning again. I'm like, it's out. Send a professional up there.
They would do anything they could to save money.
Yeah.
Like I remember when the AC would go off every summer. And their brilliant plan was to put rotating fans back in a grill
Well, the
area.
problem was that when the motor would go out, that was a specific part they had to order. And it would legitimately take 2 weeks. You know how when you worked at FedEx, when you heard an elevator would go out at an apartment?
Oh, yeah.
They don't have that part just like sitting at a Home Depot or in their.
Oh, no, I know that, but I'm just saying the fact that, like, it was every summer that that part would
It,
go out.
it wasn't every. It just you were. It only happened twice when I was there, but we were there for so long. When it happened, it felt like every summer, but then you realize it actually hadn't happened in 3 years. I actually remember going out once. It just when it did it, it took them so long to get it.
It just felt like it was a
Yeah,
constant thing. I guess that's
and I think
possible.
one time the power just went out.
Well, you remember that emergency shut-off button that was out in the back?
Oh yeah,
I remember one time I was on a closing shift,
yeah.
and I was just the closing grill manager. The other manager,
Did you tap the button?
no, I didn't have the button. The thing is, we were running a shift, getting ready for overnight to come in and all that. But it was like 2 hours before overnight came in, and the closing shift manager wanted to leave. She was like, "Oh, I don't want to be here, blah blah blah. I want to go home. Can you just let me go home?" I'm like, dude, that's not up to me. I'm not the shift manager. I leave before you do. And I guess what had happened was that she had texted her boyfriend at the time, and she had him come through and like slink across the side of the building so nobody would see him because he worked there too. And she had him press the emergency shut off button, so we thought we like blew a breaker, so we were checking all the breakers, and she was like, we had to call the GM. The GM was like, listen, like, you're gonna have to sit there until the power company can come out and this and that. And
Did
then
they come out?
yeah, we wound up calling them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, somebody hit your emergency shut-off switch." They pulled the switch back out. They're like, "You're good to go. The power's back on." But like, the one manager used that as an excuse. She's like, "Oh well, I mean, I'm making more money than everybody else. Can I just go home so we're not wasting money?" And the GM was like, "Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. Thank you for bringing that up, actually." So,
How much time was she saving to do that? Like an hour?
yeah,
Jesus Christ! You would have thought like if they would have ever went back and actually looked at the cameras, they would have like fired both of them.
yeah.
Because like you made the power company come out, so you sometimes you were only saving them like 35 minutes. Jesus, like you'd figure they'd do that at like the beginning of their shift.
No, it was near the end because it was like a weekday or something like that. So
I
they weren't busy at all.
re- I remember one of the overnight managers said they used to when they would get really behind, they'd actually have one of the homeless people. They'd tell them, "Hey, can you go tap that button for us?"
That's crazy.
So they could shut the pot. Well, because then you can just. They're like, well, no, then we can just be willfully ignorant because we don't know that there's an emergency power switch.
Well, I,
Or we should, but we don't know where it is.
I would be lazy some nights on overnights to try and catch up, and when we'd have to like reset the system for the next day and do our cash and all that. I would just keep telling people that we were cash only, anyways,
Well, no, we
just
would.
because it would deter people from ordering. So my crew would
Oh,
have more time to like get things done and then be done.
I remember they still worked there, and we did it once. We didn't actually hit the phones. Like, you can just tell these people that the grills aren't working, and that those are just emergency lights you have on.
Yeah,
The worst was, remember when the grill stack cleaners would come in and they'd still want food?
yeah,
Because remember one person came through and it's like, our grills are making 3 triple cheeseburgers. They're like, I don't got time for this. Make my food. I'm like, we can't. They're cleaning the grill stacks.
yeah.
They're like, you need to get this. I'm like, this happens every 3 months.
It's
Like
supposed to happen on overnight.
they hit it because they're like, why does it happen so day? I'm like, because it's busier during the day. It happens in the middle of the week when we're the least busiest.
Well, I remember one time I was running an overnight shift, and I guess the grill stack cleaners, their vehicle broke down, and they didn't call us.
Uh,
So instead of being there at like 2 in the morning, being done by 4, they showed up at 5, like 4:40 in the morning, right before doors open. They're like, "Yep, we're gonna start doing this now. Our car broke down." I was like, "You didn't think to reach out, and we could reschedule for tomorrow?" He's like,
wasn't I working that? I think I worked that morning too, and I remember this for some reason.
"Yeah, I believe
How long
so."
were they there
They were
for?
there for 2 hours, so it was almost 7 o'clock
Yeah.
by the time they got out of there.
I think I remember that because I remember like everyone else came in like panicking. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? They kept cleaning it,
Yeah.
and they're contracted by McDonald's, so they're gonna tell them like, well, if you don't have us come now, we're not gonna come again, and we're gonna tell like we have to
Just tell
report
corporate that, you
we have to
increased the
report this to
service.
corporate and the health department that you are like a building inspector about your dirty chimney. And it was like you have to clean it because it's a fire hazard.
Mm-hmm. And here's the grease stacks.
Oh, I think I remember that because just no customer was happy about that.
Yeah, we could only really serve stuff up front. So
They're
we could
like,
only
you
do like
realize how
coffees and stuff.
inconvenient this is? Like, I'm like, I can't give you free food, and we're not giving out free food for.
We can't give out any food right now. We can't cook
And it's
back
like
there.
I'm not putting in our one manager's like we're not putting down 100 orders in the book to give out just because we were doing a service.
Mm-hmm. And I still had to open the doors because technically we could still serve beverages and all that. So.
Oh, I would have kept them locked because that's that.
Well, I had called the GM and I was like, "Hey, what do you want me to do?" She said, "Well, if we can still serve drinks. You got to get the doors open because we open at a certain time." I'm like, "Are
Well,
you kidding?"
that the problem is you're clean. You've got you. We weren't even really supposed to be in there. Like they're cleaning stuff.
Mhm.
Like that was the biggest waste of time. Welcome to McDonald's. I can only give you a soda or a coffee. We're Starbucks this morning.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what are we supposed to do? Like 99% of the orders want food. We're not Starbucks.
It was just one thing after another. And like I had a sign on the door too that says, "Hey, we'll be opening at like 6:30. Can't serve food."
Oh, I remember during one of the hurricanes, we came back and we came back. I guess the power went out because they didn't buy us a backup generator.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize the freezers had been off for like 2 days and they didn't like throw the food away.
They're like, "Oh, well, they seal. It should have kept the cold in there."
I was like, not for 2 days it didn't. And she told me that. I'm like, I'm not. She's like, I'm like, I'm not eating here. I was like, I'm like, the freezer's been off. I'm not risking getting sick. And I remember during that, she was frustrated because I remember the day after she was back, she's like, well, we missed out on money. I was like, well, we didn't miss out on anything. You didn't have a backup generator. We didn't have power. So what were you going to do unless you're going to pull out like an actual normal grill and start doing this like a barbecue? Then there was no point to this. And that's when they did the limited menu for like a month because of how like Martin Brower got backed up because all the McDonald's like on the east coast of Florida got flooded out and their food had to be replaced.
Yeah.
So they had to like limit the menu for like for like 4 weeks.
Yeah, it was like 4 to 6 weeks, something like that.
I'm just like, she was like, I just remember the GM was like, we could have been open a day ago, but you guys never told me you needed a generator. They're like, you're the regional manager. Like, you're supposed to know this stuff.
I know it's our store to maintain, but it's your store to be aware of like what it has and what it needs.
Yeah, and the GM's like, I don't have the authorization to order a $10,000 generator for this store.
The amount of power you would need off a generator to keep that thing running.
Yeah. You need at least what is a $7,000 Generac? That's what she says. Like there should be like something out there that backs it up, but we don't have it. She's like, that's why when we have a thunderstorm, we go out and it doesn't come back onto the electric company comes out because we don't have we don't have backup power. But yeah, great times for like $8 an hour.
Great time for minimum wage.
But our boy Trump renamed it the Department of War, even though he promised we weren't going to war. But if you name it the Department of War, it's like a deterrent. You know we're serious.
You give something a cool enough name, people don't want to mess with it.
They're not even going to go to war because how do you go to the war with the Department of War?
Ooh, smooth.
Yeah, now it's like they think you're just super serious.
Super serial, as Al Gore would say.
It's might without having to use might.
It's flexing your mental muscle instead of your physical muscles.
You like how Trump now just makes like really grandiose statements every like week for some reason.
I wish I had like the power to just make statements like that and not really have to back them up, but still people would assume that I would.
it's almost like having a weird uncle that just like makes declarations every like 3 weeks to your family and never like comes through on it. Or like he shows up every 6 months with a scheme, but it's never gonna work out, and your dad just tells you just let him talk and he'll go away.
Just let him have his moment. He'll get it out of his
He's
system.
my brother,
The only reason we still invite him over for the holidays is because we're blood.
and because it upsets my mom. Or like yeah, it's more like your brother because it's like you're tolerating him for a reason. Because if it was like a cousin, you wouldn't tolerate him.
Yeah.
Like even a first cousin is like, yeah, go away.
Like, dude, you're crazy. Like, leave me alone.
Yeah, it's just I stopped following Twitter because it's just like every day it's just like you guys are arguing over nothing.
I never understood the point of the uproar online.
Twitter is just basically we took all the Facebook like niche groups where they actually they just kind of agreed with each other in it, but then we let all those groups interact with the other niche groups that don't necessarily share their viewpoint. Like we have the young Republicans and the young Democrats, but now they're in one platform geared toward them being on it together and then also being on it with other people of opposite viewpoints, and it doesn't work as a town hall where we're all coming together to share different ideas and come into a consensus. No, we're just there to yell at each other.
We're just there to have the better point, the better memes,
They were there to
the more
dunk on each.
reactions.
No, the problem is it's weird. There's like three sets of people. There's the two sides that are like trying being weird and having an argument and trying to dunk on each other, but then there's the trolls that are trying to dunk on either of them. And you can't tell the difference between any of them because the trolls sometimes are just as believable as the side they're pretending to side with and the side that they're trying to dunk on. So you actually don't know ever on Twitter if like someone really means anything they say, or is they just a troll trying to get one over on you. It's actually an amazing thing because it's like it's almost like pro wrestling in the 70s and 80s. You don't know if you're being worked or not in any given moment. It's literally what it is. I think I saw like a TED talk once where the guy he was honestly right where he said about modern media. He's like all they did was steal from pro wrestling, which makes sense like with Donald Trump because he loves WWE. He hosted two WrestleManias at Trump Plaza.
Isn't he getting ready to host or already hosted like a UFC event in
Yeah,
Mar-a-Lago?
yeah, but he was right. He's like, that's why modern media is so much more toxic and captivating than it was when it was like Walter Cronkite just breaking in for like that serious matter of fact news in the 60s.
Yeah.
He's like, because all they're doing is now pro wrestling. He's like, look at Alex Jones.
Nothing quite like Walter
I,
Cronkite.
I remember the first time anyone who saw Alex Jones that was semi-educated and they didn't like know any of his shtick. They're like, is he doing a pro wrestling character? Because he's just yelling the way like a wrestling heel would yell into a mic.
Yeah, he feels very satirical, but I.
It is because it's almost like a Ric Flair promo from like the 80s where he's like getting all emotional and looks like he's about to have a heart attack, and he does the thing where he strips off his clothes. That's all he's missing, and doing an elbow drop on his tie.
People's elbow.
It's just like because I remember he was like he's just committed to the bit because there's no way he's this serious. You can't be. And Taylor Swift has done nothing this week. Shame on her. You're our muse, and we totally don't use you for engagement. But we did use your engagement for engagement.
You're not our clickbait.
Yeah. How are we going to get our tens and tens of viewers?
Our 10 viewers? Not even tens and tens?
We got 20. I got 27 on my last video. I'm the star of this group.
You are.
I did a solo video for 5 minutes, and 5 minutes of me is like my sweet spot.
Can I say that? Yeah. Like I said, I'm the ugly homie. There's a reason you bring in more views than I do.
Yeah, I get those big. Yeah,
What?
and if you follow us on the TikTok, the Spready Roosevelt show will be different from the Base Reality Pod TikTok because apparently TikTok doesn't like it when you commingle different content because the algorithm gets confused. It likes it. It likes it. It likes it when you don't change like a divorced like a kid who's going through a divorce, whose parents are going through a divorce, and they need consistency in their life. They don't like it when weekend dad comes in and then weekday dad intermingles all the time. They like it when you come on a schedule. But that's just a side rant. Our football team's won.
Yeah.
Not your Gators though, because they spat on that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
if I was a bigger college football fan, I'd be more disappointed.
our one buddy who's a Hurricanes fan was just like that. He's like, this is literally my wet dream come true.
It was his wet dream come true
He's like,
until
the
Sunday.
fact that they did that, he's like, if that kid would have done this on the Hurricanes and we would have lost to an unranked USF team, that kid would never play for this team again. And I tweeted something where it's like Urban Meyer had legit criminals on that team, and they all had the common sense not to spit on another person.
Yeah, I mean,
But
County Twins and Aaron Hernandez was literally killing people.
But Jalen Carter did it Thursday, so it was like now it's a statistic. Now it's a what's wrong with society situation, and why are grown men spitting on each other? It's almost like they got freak in them.
Now it's more of like they're gonna use that as an example of being like, see, this is why Jalen Carter should be fined and potentially even suspended another
He's
game.
corrupting the youth.
He's making it seem like it's an okay thing to do down a level. So,
But your Bucks won.
barely.
Hey, Atlanta's not a bad team. Michael Penix looked
He looked serviceable.
serviceable. He was pretty accurate.
He was right around 50%.
He was at points. He was
He
over.
was 20 for 20. He was like 27 for like 48. So hovering.
No, that's a little over 50%.
That's what I'm saying. He's hovering around 50%. He's
You
not.
know, 50% would have been 24, so he's almost at 60, which would be like what you want in a quarterback.
Yeah, you want it anywhere from like 65 to.
No, it's 60 to anything over 70 is like Drew Brees elite, but then anything over 70, it's weird because you want him between 60 and 69, nice, because it means they're checking down every so often, but they're also they're going to throw an incomplete ball because they are going to take a chance and stretch the defense. Anything over 70, you're in Kirk Cousins and Drew Brees, and you're in captain checkdown mode.
Okay, yeah, he was 27 for 42, so he was well over 50%.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
He was almost 60 at that rate.
Yeah,
He was actually probably right at 60. He was almost at 70 at that rate. You want him like almost in the middle of 60 because if they're too high in the 70s, like when Drew Brees would have those 70% seasons, all that means is they're taking a 3-yard check down to preserve their accuracy rating.
yeah, 64% is what he was at.
Yeah, that's good. That's
He's
fine.
right at the sweet
That's
spot.
fine. Yeah, because if they start going at like Kirk Cousins and Drew Brees, it's like they're not actually the numbers misleading because they're just kept in check down. But my Packers won, kicked the crap out of the Lions. Micah Parsons dominant, almost got a sack on the first play. Did get a sack, forced an interception, had 3 pressures, and then Skip Bayless, the Cowboy fan, went full hater mode on Twitter. Micah Fool's goal. So I was like, this is just level. This is just coping now. This isn't even him like being mad, like where he's just like you don't think he's legitimately mad. He's just mad. Because Jerry Jones, God bless him, let him stay the Cowboys owner forever, traded with his heart. Because everyone's like, oh, you lost Kenny Clark. Where's the pressure going to come from? It's like, well, now you have to double Micah, so everyone gets open, and they put Luca Van Ness on his side. So now you've unlocked Luca.
Luca Van Ness, and don't forget Rashawn Gary's still there too.
Yeah, because our defenses are already nasty. It's like now not only you have to identify the Mike, but you have to identify the Micah.
Oh my god.
This has been the Based Reality podcast where we prove life isn't a simulation, but we're in a reality and it's just based like me and I'm lit and this guy's ugly. But he has 3 kids though.
The kids are cute. I'm not.
Well, they have their mother.
Exactly.
Hopefully they have their dad's personality.
Sometimes-
Hopefully she never listens to this part.
Sometimes you can be a 6, but if you're funny, their eyes are closed long enough, they don't see that.
And just remember, people, if you give her the moon and the stars, the least she can do is give you her anus. All right, guys. Peace.
Peace out.